ready to go. If the beat hits, I'm ready to go. If the beat hits.
Welcome to Varsity 4, your home for high school sports. I'm Alessandra Pontbriand, and he is the birthday boy, Justin Barney, turning 21 today,
yeah,
right?
21 plus 28. So nowhere I would rather be than with my favorite colleague, right? Birthday gift all in of itself.
I gave him a piece of cake, and he still has yet to eat it. He's gone through the whole day, the whole work day, and he still hasn't had his birthday gift that I got him. So everyone
make the suit, make sure it's still good.
Oh, is that your new? Okay, let's get to it. Okay, we'll be bringing you the latest high school sports news each Thursday night from 10:45 to 11 p.m. right here on News4JAX. We'll start like we always do with our game of the week preview. Now, Friday nights are packed with Varsity 4 programming. It starts with our Varsity 4 pregame show, which I will be at Mandarin High School Friday night starting at 6:15 for the Varsity 4 pregame show. Let's take a look at who Mandarin is hosting. They're hosting the Oakleaf Knights this Friday.
Really going to be a fantastic game. Mandarin Oakleaf at the Corral. This is a Super 10 matchup. Number 5 Oakleaf at number 4 Mandarin. And this game last year was fantastic. Defense turned the tide for Mandarin in the regular season last year. But oh, by the way, that was so good. Let's play 2. Oakleaf returned the favor in the playoffs, beat Mandarin on a missed kick at the end of the game. And Oakleaf used that to go to the third round of the playoffs, probably the best season in program history. So you figure the winner or the loser of this game, who cares? They're going to probably see each other again here just in a few weeks. Going to be a great one. Glad you're getting out there to cover that one.
Well, this season, we are partnering with 1010XL for a high school football stream. So Justin and 1010XL's Ryan Hacker Green will be live from 7 to 9, breaking down the area's games that night. They also will be dipping into the game of the week stream 2 hours of the latest updates from high school football across our area. And you will find our sports team all over Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia filming games each Friday night for our Varsity 4 football show. Catch highlights from our game of the week, as well as many more games in our area at 10:30 p.m. Justin will join Jamal St. Cyr for a look at how the Super 10 teams competed that night. And speaking of Justin, all season, you will be revealing your Super 10 each Tuesday night at 10 p.m. here on News4JAX. So take us through the highlights this week.
Yeah, some changes here on the latter half of the rankings. Last week, Beachside had an upset loss to Middleburg, and they drop out of the rankings. And taking their spot is Pontbriand in the number 9 spot. Of course, Ed White. They did lose last week to Oakleaf, 44-41, but unbelievable game. Had a chance to win it there at the end. So 10, they stay there at the 10 spot. No need to penalize them for that much. Pontbriand in at number 9, and pretty much the entire Super 10 stays the same after that. Columbia Bradford at 8 and 7, Nice and Oakleaf at 6 and 5, and of course our top 4 been the same for a little bit of time. Mandarin 4, Bowles 3, Range 2, and St. Augustine 1. Man, I had a tough decision keeping Range at number 2 or moving him up to number 1. The coaches moved him up to number 1. St. Augustine staying at number 2 in the coaches rankings, but at least for one more week. Range got Yulee on Friday night, so we'll see if they can add another impressive win to their resume. And I think if they do in impressive fashion, they're probably moving up to number 1 next week.
Well, if you want to listen or even watch more Varsity 4 coverage, tune into the Varsity 4 podcast with Justin and Sponge Franklin. Each Tuesday afternoon, they release a new video podcast episode about the latest high school football news. You can listen to the podcast on any listening platform or watch on news4jax.com under the sports tab. And stay tuned when we come back. News4JAX reporter Chris Will has this week's Reigns Vikings spotlight on a player hoping to have a memorable game on a senior night. And maybe when we return, I'll be singing you a happy birthday, Justin.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Next when Varsity 4 returns. The Reigns Vikings are heading into their final regular season home game with the district championship on the line. They will take on 7-1 Yulee, and this game has playoff implications. Yeah, going to be a good one at the Graveyard. News4JAX Chris Will has been all season long tracking the Vikings, and he sat down with the leading rusher this week, hoping to make a comeback on senior night.
Each and every week we come out to Reigns High School to share the stories of the Vikings, and each and every week there's one name that keeps coming up.
I feel like who doesn't get enough credit, to Darius Washington.
Stuff like this, to Darius Washington.
I'm to Darius Washington, class of 2026.
So we sat down with the man, to Darius Washington, the team's leading rusher with 7 total touchdowns on the year, contributing over 500 yards to an explosive Reigns offense.
He's a hard runner, that just who he is as a person. They always can depend on, to Darius to make a play in a time of need.
When I see that hole open up, I don't even think. I get it and I go. full speed.
But Washington's season hit a slight bump in the road, tweaking his ankle against Madison County and forced to miss the game against Creekside.
That game I sat out, it kind of like, messed me up a little bit.
And he says he's doing everything he can to get his body right. That's because this young man says he has goals he wants to accomplish. He wants to get his tally up to 12 total touchdowns and over 1,000 all-purpose yards this year.
And some D1 coaches hit my lineup.
What's it going to take to get there?
Hard work, continue doing what I'm doing. Hard work every day, just trying to get his ankle back right so we can get back on the road.
But he hasn't lost sight of the team goals. After all, a district championship is on the line on senior night, the final regular season home game in the graveyard.
It feels unreal, really. I mean, I really haven't processed it yet. This will be my last game home here. Everything just went so fast. I mean, it's crazy, man.
It's also the next step towards those state championship aspirations, an ideal way to cap off a high school career.
When you look over there and you see the pictures of your fellow seniors, I mean, what's that like to close out this season with the guys that you grew up with?
I mean, it's no better feeling than this. Everybody I grew up with, we all finishing together. But the goal is us getting that ring. We need that ring. We got to bring that ring back this year.
Chris Will, Channel 4, the local station.
Chris and Elijah doing such a good job each and every week detailing Reigns players, giving us a glimpse into each one. And you feel for Tadarius because you only have just this finite time in high school each week. And Tadarius, at least he's going to be there on senior night. Hopefully get some carries in that game.
Okay, well, rooting for you, Tadarius, here at Varsity 4. Well, tune in each week here on Varsity 4 for behind-the-scenes look of what makes this Vikings team roll. Chris will bring you an in-depth look all season long. And finally, you can see it right behind us as we wrap up our football coverage for tonight. Let's throw it back to 1998.
Yeah, we got some big matchups on Friday night in terms of district championship games, some rivalry games. Why don't we throw it back here to some big rivalry games here. The 98 season, one of my favorite ones. Ed White and Reigns that season, an unbelievable clash. Reigns wins that late in the game, but just so many good rivalry games that year. One of my favorite seasons, actually my first season covering high school football in the area. And you look back, and this is Bowles and Trinity Christian in 1998. People probably don't recognize those old Trinity Christian jerseys, but Reigns and Ed White, what a game that year. Trinity and Bowles, what a game that year. So many fun memories. My first season covering high school football and high school sports on the First Coast, and so many good memories of that season. So many good games that year, and I think we're going to see quite a few good games in Week 10 of the high school football season. District championships galore in Week 10 on Friday night, and of course, some good matchups as well. Kevin Sullivan there on the screen, former Jackson and Atlantic Coast head coach, and really good to see some of these throwback highlights. And we're going to get some good games, just like we see on the screen right here from 1998. We're getting some good ones in Week 10 on Friday night. Love that action from 98.
Okay, well, while the high school football playoffs are not for a few more weeks, volleyball teams finished the first round of the playoffs Wednesday night. So, Justin, who is advancing to the second round on Saturday?
Yeah, we had a lot of teams qualify for the state playoffs, but different this year and last year. Now, last year we didn't even have a team get to the state semifinals. A lot of teams still in contention for getting to that third round of the playoffs. Trinity Catholic versus Providence coming up on Saturday. North Bay Haven and Wolfson. Wolfson's been an unbelievable story this year. They swept Bowles in the first round. South Walton and Yulee, good matchup there. Bishop Kenny, one of the best programs in state history. They're playing Wakulla. Childs and Ponte Vedra, that is going to be a tough matchup for the Sharks. Childs, the reigning state champion, and I think the best one to look forward to in this clash on Saturday. We've got a few more games, but I think Beachside and Middleburg, the game to watch on Saturday. Beachside has been #1 in our Super 6 all season long. And of course, Middleburg, a state champion just as recently as 2 years ago. So that's going to be an unbelievable one coming up for you on Saturday. Okay, well, good luck, girls, on Saturday. We're rooting for you here. But as we wrap up, you can watch Varsity 4 every Thursday night during the school year from 10:45 to 11 p.m. right here on News4JAX. We will be bringing you the latest high school sports news each week. And follow us on Sports4JAX on Instagram to get even more sports news. But thank you for watching Varsity 4, and good night.